The sweet swing of Buster Posey got the Giants back into the game last night. Posey hits one well into center field. On the move is Parra, looking up. It is out of here. Game time. Posey's homer came in the 8th inning, and then in the bottom of the 9th, Brandon Belt stepped up to the plate. Belt into left field. That's a base hit. Here comes Torres. This game is over. Tonight, the drama continues in Game 2 of the series. Giants D-backs next.
Another night of baseball here at AT&T Park as we get ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series, D-backs and Giants. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Very exciting win for the home team last night. And tonight it's Matt Cain, and Matt Cain is the horse. And Mike, give me one thing that Matt Cain has to do tonight.
Well, I think he has to establish a changeup. That's a pitch he sort of shied away from in his last outing, and I think that's one of his best pitches. Now, I mean, he's into his 5th start now. He's 0-2. His ERA is in the 7. That's not good. That's not Matt Cain. Tonight, I fully expect him to spin one. I think he's going to use all of his pitches, and that changeup, you'll see that thing regularly. They're going to have to throw well. Giants are going to have to play good baseball because Patrick Corbin, the lefty with the Diamondbacks, off to a great start with a 2-0 record, ERA in the 1s. This is going to be all about pitching tonight.
All right, another great pitching matchup here at AT&T Park. All right, when we come back, Amy G is going to take a look at a big hit, a big day for Brandon Belt yesterday. Amy G on that wonderful hit right after this.
Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. The Chipotle Chicken Club Combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for just $4.99 plus tax. And by Toyota. Do the math and save at your local Toyota dealer.
Your San Francisco Giants have won 4 straight and their last 7 home games. And tonight, they look for a season-high 5th straight win as they take on the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 2 of this 3-game set. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez. And hitting just 197, Brandon Belt's struggles at the plate have certainly been a glaring storyline so far this season. But last night, some hard luck may have turned around because of a lot of hard work. It's our AT&T U-verse Rewind this evening. Earlier, before yesterday's game, Belt in the cage, working with none other than the skipper, Bruce Bochy. They were in there for a good 20-25 minutes. Boch telling him, don't try to get hits. Let's work on getting quality ABs.
The past couple of games, my weight's just been going forward a whole lot, and I've been tying myself up with a lot of balls I should hit hard. So we're just working on keeping the weight back, seeing the ball as long as possible, and putting good wood on it. It worked out today.
Talk about the ultimate situational hitting. He comes through in the clutch, off the bench in the 9th inning for a walk-off single. Andres Torres scores the winning run, and Bell did it off of Arizona's lefty, Tony Sipp. No easy task for sure. It's a good sight to see and a good moment for Brandon Belt, and we certainly hope his struggles are turning around. All right, I had a chance to catch up with the Giants' third baseman, Pablo Sandoval. Find out what the Panda has to say about the Giants' winning ways when we return after these messages. Stay with us. Of this 3-game series between the San Francisco Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez, and a lot of focus has been on Buster Posey finding his swing and getting that offense going, but Pablo Sandoval has just been quietly getting it done. Coming into tonight's game, he's hitting .301 and leads his team with 18 RBI. I had a chance to sit down with the Panda earlier today. We talked about how well the team's been doing and how well he's been swinging.
We pulled the pieces together in the right time, We've been winning games lately, on the right moment, put the right guys on the home plate to bring the guys in. So, it's like no one guy. We got team, we got 8 guys, support each other, and 4 more guys in the bench, to do their job. So it's one of the things like that. You have a team like that, you're going to win some game.
They say that hitting's contagious. Buster Posey, 2 home runs in the last 2 games. It must be nice to see him get his swing and find his swing and see what he can do with that swing.
I know he's the kind of guy. He want to do everything. He can do a lot of things out there. He support the teams. He help the team to win the game. So yesterday he had a great game. So I hope he keeps swinging like that. And if you got that guy hot, we're gonna win some game easy.
Your starting pitching has always been a main strength on this team, and Matt Cain has had some struggles early in this season. He's coming off a rough outing in Milwaukee, but talk about your confidence in your starting pitchers and what they're able to do and how they're always able to bounce back.
Like I say, you got up and downs, you got good moments and bad moments, I don't blame those guys, those guys pitch every day, come here every day to win the game. So I know the job they can be doing. For those guys, we won two championships in 3 years. I think so. They're gonna have a great year this year. You have bad moments when you start. So, I hope that they can do and fight all those moments. Can do the well he can.
Finally, a key for this team is going to be staying healthy. You've had surgeries on both hands the last 2 seasons, of course, Buster's injury. But when you're all healthy and in that lineup, it's very formidable. It's very strong. How important is it for you guys, thinking that way and staying healthy?
It's tough. It's no decision you make, The decision happen in the game. But if you're healthy, you see the result in the lineup. We got Buster, my person, out for a couple months, Buster for 1 year. You see what happens. So I hope, all those guys in the lineup, this guy in the bench, all this pitching rotation, all the bullpen, stay healthy all year. We have the same team last year, so we can do a lot of damage out there.
Well, when we come back, Matt Cain, the horse, will take the hill in search of his first win this season. Kruk and Kipe will have first pitch and lineups after these messages.
We've got baseball here at AT&T Park as Kane throws to Gerardo Parra, and this game gets started with a fastball at the knees for a called strike at 7:15. So here's the 0-1 delivery to Parra, and he bounces this one to Crawford, and Crawford lets this one skip off the heel of his glove, and Parra is aboard. All right, let's take a look at the lineup for Arizona. You just saw Parra. It'll be Prado, Goldschmidt, and then Montero. He's got pretty good numbers off of Matt Cain. The former Giant Cody Ross, then Chavez, Pollock, Didi Gregorius, he's going to hit 8th, and Patrick Corman pitch and bat 9th. So Cain will now try to pitch through the error by Crawford, as here's Prado. Prado lines it to right, and that's going to be a base hit. That ball almost shot by Hunter Pence. It's Earth Week. Reduce the almost 7 pounds of garbage you produce a day by shopping smarter and sharing more. Green is universal. So here's Goldschmidt.
On the hill tonight for the Giants, Matt Cain, in 4 starts, still looking for his first win with an ERA 7.15. Strikeout, almost 1 an inning with a 4-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. That's the good news. Bad news is the ERA at 7.15, and really got bit by 2 weird outings. One he gave up 9, the other one he gave up 7, which will definitely balloon your ERA.
Goldschmidt takes a strike.
Cain will give you 4 different pitches. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, but he'll cut the fastball. He'll sink the fastball. And really, I think you'll see him use that off-speed stuff a little more in this start than what we saw in his last outing in Milwaukee. Cain, 28 years old, in his 8th year at the big league level.
Here's the 0-1 to Goldschmidt, and it's low and away. Goldschmidt 2 for 13 in his career at bats against Matt Cain. Last night, the Giants avoided Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt went 0 for 1. He walked twice, and he was hit by a pitch.
A lot of guys have bad numbers against Cain. He's had good numbers against the Rockies. 13-6 lifetime with a 3.34 ERA.
Down low, this is John Tom Payne, who is the home plate umpire.
And he's a young umpire. The first time we saw him, he was a bit inconsistent. It was one of his very first few times behind the plate, and he was a bit inconsistent. You'll see low strikes, you'll see some high strikes. He was all over the place, and it bounced.
Hunter Pence is going to have to go a long way, and it's going to be fair, and it rolls over the mound. Parra's going to score. Over to third goes Prado. And that's a tough break.
Indeed it is. This is like a snake bit. I mean, you're right on the chalk line. It kind of was the same thing that happened to Cain in Milwaukee. And right now he's thinking, wait a second, what the heck is going on here in this month of April? Air by a reliable shortstop. Nice at bat from Scudero, and here a chalk line double. And D-backs have it set up to go large here in the first.
So here's Montero. 1 for 4 yesterday, and he takes low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Giants playing the infield back. They're trying to stay out of a big crooked number here in the first.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Let's take a look at the Giants defensively tonight. Behind Cain, starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Torres, Pagan, Pence. That's your outfield. Crawford, Sandoval on the left side. Scudero, Arias on the right side. And Buster Posey, well, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
2 balls and a strike as Kane trying to hit the inside corner, just missed. Cody Ross is on deck. Up the middle. Crawford has it. They'll get the out. Coming in to score is Prado. Goldschmidt moves to third. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 59 degrees here at the yard. Humidity at 50%. The winds are at 15 miles per hour. And it is a clear night. So here's Cody Ross. Giants now will play the infield in, and that's a line drive right at Crawford. If you hit a ball that hard with the infield in, it's going to find a hole.
Well, it had to be hit right at somebody because you're not going to get a lot of range off this bullet. And just a little slide step, not even a step. And that is a break. So that's our X Moments brought to you by your local Toyota dealer.
Here's Chavez. Hit a home run last night off of Vogelsong to the opposite field.
That was a pretty impressive swing of the bat because of how good the pitch was. The pitch was on the outside corner below the knees, and he took it out to left field the opposite way.
So that's off the plate at 91. It's 2-0. Two balls and 1 strike.
Let's take a look at that home run that Chavez hit against Vogelsong. Look at the pitch. I mean, that's a good breaking ball in a great spot. And still he puts it over the wall in left center. Last night we saw a lot of home runs.
Sandoval blowing a bubble will give chase. And that's on top of the dugout.
This ballpark playing completely different than what we saw last night. Opponents against the curveball of Kane. Last season 189, this season 400.
Rolled foul.
Well, see, you say, well, what causes that? Well, there's a lot of reasons why a curveball can go weird. One, you have a hump in it. And that's something you don't really see as a pitcher. You throw it and it comes out of your hand. It's got a little arc in it. Ideally, you like to have it come out of your hand and be flat and then have its break. A humpback curveball would be one that really gets, and a hitter sees that really early. And in your mind as a pitcher, you think, I got a good curveball, that's big. Well, yeah, but it's got an arc in it, it's got a hump in it. It's not a good one. And sometimes you just leave it up.
Out of play, fastball.
And I think if you were to analyze the 4 starts from Kane, 2 of them were pretty good starts, 2 of them were not. And in those 2 that were not good starts, he made some mistakes up, which he does not normally do. Normally you don't see a lot of mistakes out in the strike zone up. Now he'll pitch above the letters up, out of the strike zone, different deal.
Pence, and he tracks it down in the gap, and that'll end the inning. 2 runs on the board. Giants are coming up.
And the lineup that Patrick Corbin will be facing, it'll be Pagan, Scudero, and Sandoval. 6-game hitting streak for Buster Posey against the D-backs. Had a big home run last night. Then it's Pence, Arias, and Torres. Crawford will hit 8th and Kane 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Arizona Diamondbacks will be the left-hander Patrick Corbin, 23-year-old, 6'2", 190-pounder. Got a low 90s fastball with a slider and a changeup. And this guy's legit. 13 strikeouts against 7 walks, 20 base runners in 19 innings. I mean, those are good numbers. Very good athlete. Does all the other things you're supposed to do as a starting pitcher. He holds runners on well. He fields his position well. Let's take a look at the defense behind Corbin. Starting in the Diamondbacks outfield from left to right, it'll be Parra, Pollock, and Ross. Gregorius and Chavez, they'll be on the left side of the infield. Prado and Goldschmidt on the right side. Miguel Montero will be in the squad putting down the signs.
And it'll be Pagan to lead things off. And Pagan takes high. Pagan hitting .286 with 11 RBIs. Rare last night where Pagan went 0 for 4. In a lot of ways you can say as Pagan and Scudero go, so do the Giants. Last night Scudero had a couple of hits. Taps this one, charging is Gregorius. A double clutch and a throw, and they get Pagan. 1 out here in the first inning. So here's Scudero. I mentioned the 2 hits for Scudero last night. 3 for 12 lifetime against Corbin. At the knees. You watched Scudero today, Mike, behind the batting cage, and you talk about just working his hands going to right field. That's all he did. Hooks this one foul.
Now he's about as compact a swing as I think I've ever seen. And he does not swing hard. He is going to let you supply the power if you're the pitcher. Lets that ball get very deep to him. Just a very small load, very tight, compact swing. You don't see a lot of throw with the back hip. It's just all balance. The Diamondbacks play Scudero to right field and give him the line in left field. They really pinch the gaps. There's a lot of room over here, but look at how they've pinched this here. They really think he's going to hit that way. That's a pitch him away, play him away defense. Interesting though, they have Goldschmidt, the first baseman, pulled way off the line, protecting the hole.
Out of play. Well, you see the direction where Scudero's hits have gone this year.
Uses the whole field. That's pretty even distribution right there.
Cody Ross will move over towards the line. He'll put it away. And here's Sandoval. See Sandoval's numbers. Last night, 2 for 4. He scored a couple of runs. He's right at 301. And a high fly ball to right.
Ross will put it away, and that'll end the inning. So 1-2 through innings for Patrick Corbin. Kane coming back out.
Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking, a checking account that pays you.
2-0 Arizona, as Matt Cain will face A.J. Pollock. Pollock hitting .309, a couple of home runs, 8 RBIs. It's amazing you have a guy like Martin Prado who can play all over the place, and really that allows other guys to get into the lineup.
Yeah, that's sort of the baseball player of today.
Kane knocks it down, juggles it, picks it up, and throws 100 miles to Arias.
It's up, Joaquin. Well, the Giants and Diamondbacks have one more in this 3-game series tomorrow afternoon. It'll be midweek day baseball starting at 12:45, and you can check out the dynamic deals for that game. The tickets start as low as $8. So go to sfgiants.com/dynamic deals and get yourself some tickets. Get out here. All right, let's take a look at the throw from Kane to Arias. Yep, got it. Here it comes. We had him at 98 miles an hour on the gun. At least it looked that way.
Here's Gregorius, who takes a strike. Last night for the young shortstop, Gregorius went 1 for 4. Here he takes one low and in.
Close pitch. John Tumpane is an umpire not a lot of these guys know. So they're learning his strike zone as the game progresses. Something, usually players will notice it out the first time through the lineup. Once you've hit one time and everybody knows where it is. And if it starts to bounce around, then everybody's confused. And that's the one thing, like anything, as an athlete, you want to be consistent. Umpires too.
Kane will take a little off. And let's check it for the ABG. Amy?
All right, Dwayne, I have an NL West injury update. It's about the Dodgers, and their starting pitchers have been absolutely rocked. They lost Zach Greinke with a broken collarbone. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. Now Chris Capuano is on the DL with a strained calf. And today the Dodgers announcing that Chad Billingsley will undergo Tommy John surgery tomorrow, and he will be out for at least a year. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on that starting rotation. Wing?
Yep. Here's Corbin. The Dodgers had 8 starters And three of those starters veterans that weren't going to pitch. Literally before all of this happened, Aaron Harang, literally the day after they traded him, they started to go down.
Yeah. The old saying about you can never have too much pitching really has held true in Los Angeles this year. But I think that's something that every team faces at some point during the season. You're going to have injuries. It's part of the game. And you just hope that you can have people that can come in and fill those spots. It will determine the success and failure of your year.
And Corbin out swinging. Kane's first strikeout. Buster Posey is going to lead things off 2-0 D-backs.
Net Bay Area is brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek is giving away 16 cars, guaranteed. Visit cachecreek.com for information.
Fans, Tuesday, May 7th is Off the Cove at AT&T Park. Your special event package includes a ticket to the game against the Phillies, access to the pregame food truck festival, and a 2012 World Series Giants shirt. Go to sfgiants.com/special events. Here's Buster Posey. Posey, Pence, and Arias. And a first pitch strike. And that's chopped foul.
Last night, the difference maker in the game was 4-2 score, 1-1 on, and Buster Posey hits his second home run of the year right up the middle. Center field wall, tied the score. The Giants would go on to win it bottom of the ninth.
Up high. 1-2. Pence to follow, and then Arias. Posey 4 for 11 in his career against Corbin. Look out. Sometimes you wonder how a guy does get out of the way, especially when it's at your feet.
Well, they say if you come in, at times you want to move their feet, but that was a little bit of a heat seeker right there, boring in on the back leg of Posey. But he did move his feet, and that gets a hitter's attention.
Out of play down the right field line. Only a great play by Cody Ross last night prevented Buster Posey from having another extra base hit. He ended up 2 for 4. Got him.
Good hard slider. Time now for our Geico quote. We go to Brandon Belt. He was the guy that came up with a big walk-off hit. We're talking about the celebration. Said, I'm pretty lightheaded. My kidneys hurt right now. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you get out there in the infield. Guys start pounding on you. That's our Geico quote. Brandon Belt.
Here's Pence. Pence went 0 for 4. And he takes a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. 0 for 4 last night. I think of all the guys last night where the strike zone got him, Pence was the guy.
Yeah, he got rung up on a couple of fastballs down and in from Doug Eddings. He's got a very low, wide strike zone.
Pence hooks this one foul.
But, you know, as a hitter, you just need to feel like you had the bat taken out of your hands by the umpire, and I think that happened a few times last night with both teams.
And Pence goes down swinging, so Corbin went back-to-back strikeouts, and here's Arias.
A back foot slider, and he gets Hunter Pence to bite. He will chase down. Hunter Pence, very aggressive swinger.
So here's Arias. Arias last night, 1 for 4. Bochy said that Arias needed some at-bats, and he's getting them so far in the series. Here he takes a strike.
Some authentic fans showing off their rings.
And that's rolled foul, 0-2. Yeah, on Willie Mays Plaza, it was Say Hey Tuesday. Comcast Sportsnet handed those out. That's where Montero wanted it. It's now 1-2. And Corbin strikes out the side. We'll have a guest when we come back. It's 2-0 D-backs. In between Mike and I is Jeremy Affelt, who is very close to coming off the disabled list. So welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Now you see
how rough our job is.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, when I throw a scud, that must look really good from up here, huh?
No.
No. Looks just as bad up here as it does down there.
Scuds are ugly. A scud is a ball that breaks about 10 feet in front of home plate. It's a catcher's nightmare, and there's nothing good about a scud. You've been pretty good about the scuds this year.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been up this year, too, so I think I might want to go back to the scuds. You know, keep the ball down a little bit better.
Well, you're the guy that nicknamed the scud the scud. That's the first time I ever heard it was coming from you, but it's aptly described.
Well, Kane jumps out in front of Parra. Got him.
Elevate above the hands. It's always been a great weapon for Matt Kane going upstairs.
So how do catchers feel about scuds?
I don't think Buster likes him. You know, the curveball, I think he can be okay with at times. I think it's when the fastball scuds in there he's not really happy about. Bounces up and hits him off his jugular, and he's not real happy with you. Or he just stands up and gets out of the way. That's in the playoffs. I think a couple years ago, I threw one so bad he stepped out in front of the plate and fixed the divot and pointed to me exactly where it was at.
Here's Prado as he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, let's talk about your situation. You're due to come off the disabled list when the team is in Arizona. And are you still checking that date?
I am. Yeah, I think it's just a matter with the oblique. You know, you got to go kind of day to day. You got to see how it felt. You know, I played catch earlier today. It felt good. So I'm going to play catch tomorrow, and hopefully we'll ramp it up and I can throw a bullpen. I'll see where I'm at.
Well, you've been through this before. And, you know, you've got to give it some respect. So take the extra time now.
Yeah, and they're notorious for re-injuring if you try to come back too quick.
That should be in the seats. It is. And it's 1-2.
But it is my third one. So, I mean, for me, it's the second one on this side. And, you know, for whatever reason, that's just been my injury. You know, I just, well, one of my injuries, I could say.
Well, these are not self-inflicted, so.
Yeah, true. I didn't stab myself on that one.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Martin Prado. And it's low. It's 2-2.
But you have been durable in your career. I mean, and it's not an easy thing to do when you're called upon to get up and go out there 4 days a week, get up, you know, another 8 times when you don't get in. It's not easy being a reliever.
Yeah, it takes a toll, and I think that's one thing that they try to keep track on a little bit down there as well. Is, you know, when you warm up and you got to be next hitter ready, you're as hot as you are as if you're going into a game. Now, you're not throwing, obviously, when it counts all the time, but you're still hot, and your body doesn't know the difference. And so I think, you know, as much as we warm up in the close games that we play down there, it takes a toll on our bodies.
Here's the payoff pitch coming up to Prado. And he walked him, and I think Kane probably wanted it. Game 4 of the World Series had to have been a highlight for you. If I remember right, you walked the first guy and then retired everybody else after that.
Yeah, it was that was a fun game for me. I was dealing with a little bit of a thumb injury there with after the Cincinnati series, and you know, to come in and to throw the pitches that I threw into that game in that situation, that's definitely going to be a memory for me and my boys. I'm happy they get to go back and watch those things. That was definitely the highlight of my career.
Well, you kind of blew the Tigers' minds because they had you booked with fastball with some sink and a big curveball, and you were throwing splits at them.
Yeah, we almost threw Cabrera and Young the exact same way. We just knew. I knew with Cabrera and I knew with Young both. You know, Cabrera can hit a fastball away pretty good. Man. He covers that outside corner, and I was just trying to put up something that looked like a heater and got him to chase. And I threw my split. And Young, you just don't want him to inside out a ball. He was poking some balls out there in the whole entire playoffs. So I was just trying to keep something below the zone.
Here's Goldschmidt, who takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, it really was a remarkable journey when you consider what the team had to do in Cincinnati, and you had some big outs in Cincinnati as well.
Yeah, there were. I think, you know, sometimes the amount of situations that we had to pitch out of in those 2 series, it's like when you get to the World Series, it wasn't that we, you know, let up. It was almost that when we have to face World Series pressure, well, the 2 series before that were as pressurized as it gets. I mean, you don't get anything more intense than that. So to go into that World Series with that kind of confidence, that just helped our pitching staff and our offense to know that no matter what, we can stay in series here, and we don't have to ever feel like we're down and out in these series.
Here's the 1-1 to Goldschmidt.
Good pitch.
You really see Matt Cain indicate that he's unhappy that often. And he indicated that he was unhappy with this one.
Curveball right on that outside corner. Again, John Tumpane is a young umpire. And we have seen him another time. He was inconsistent. You come back and throw the same pitch, you might get it. That frustrates everybody.
Now it's 3-1.
But the difference between a 2-1 pitch and a 1-2 pitch to a guy with power like Goldschmidt has, and that's night and day.
Well, the Giants knew that this is the guy that is swinging the bat pretty good. They avoided him yesterday. See what Matt Cain does here. Maybe Prado takes off. He does. Swinging a high drive to left. Torres is going to watch this one go, and it is gone. On a 3-1 pitch, Paul Goldschmidt makes it 4-0. That's his 4th of the year.
Well, he was in the driver's seat. Count leverage sitting on a 3-1, looking for a fastball, looking middle in. And it's exactly what he got. Look at the target on the outside corner. This thing goes middle in, completely on the other side of the plate. And for a guy with power, that is room service. And Matt Cain knew it as soon as it left the bat. You looked at Andres Torres out in left field, and he never moved.
So Dave Righetti goes out. He has a word. And now it's Montero. Montero bounced out to Crawford, picked up an RBI in the first inning. Giants have to play come from behind baseball again. Is Montero on that first pitch, tries to do the same thing.
Well, one thing about this 2013 Giants team, coming back from a large deficit has not been a problem. Giants fans are not used to that type of offense.
Yeah, I think that's what's so big about this team over the last couple of years. You know, we played a lot of close games, but we kind of would hold the lead, and it'd be 2-1 the whole time, and we would just come in. But I felt like this year, you know, we've blown some leads, or we've been down and out. We've had key guys come and step up and score some big runs for us late to get us back in games. I think that's, for me, a difference maker when, as a pitcher, if I feel like my guys can get me back into it. Where I felt like last year, maybe if we were out a little bit, we dragged our feet. But this year, you know, I think the way that we've been playing, our offense has actually probably kept us in more ball games, you know, than even our pitching has at times, and it's been great. I think the pitching staff has so much confidence in our hitters right now, and I think this is just an awesome team to play on, and it's well-rounded. And our pitchers are starting off a little slower than usual, but hey, it happens, you know. So I think once they click in, man, especially these five, once these five get going, look out.
Well, Timmy's performance was pretty impressive.
Personally, I think it's the best outing he's had in a year, in my personal opinion, when it comes to consistency of every inning that he goes out there. You know, the way all his pitches look like a strike out of his hand, like they did a couple years ago, to then leaving the strike zone, and hitters have to commit, and makes his changeup better when his fastball command's better, and then they have to swing at his changeup more. And I just felt like what he did out there the other day was incredible.
I definitely think it was the best start he's had in a long time. I think in the playoffs last year out of the bullpen, he was pretty impressive, but certainly the best start we've seen him have.
Here's Cody Ross, who looks at a strike. What's it like facing a guy that you liked as a teammate, as Cain is facing Cody Ross? Is it different?
It is, and I just don't look at him. Be honest with you, you just look at the glove and you pitch the location, because there's something there. And I've honestly, I played with Kansas City for a long time, and I had like 500 teammates. So, so it seemed like I faced everybody, at times. But sometimes you just don't look at them. And you make your pitch, and if you get him out, you get him out. But to me, I think if you look at a guy that you know real well, you tend to give up a little bit, and you'll give in.
Ross strikes out looking. It's 4-0. D-backs. Are trailing 4-0. One of the reasons we asked Jeremy to come up here is he wrote a book, and baseball players can write books. That's right.
Darn right.
And it's called To Stir a Movement, and you can get it on Dugout Store, correct?
Yeah, you can get it at Dugout Store. Then my publisher is nph.com. Right now they're doing it through the month of April. Not much time left, but if you buy from them, they actually donate $5 to my foundation as well for buying the book. But yeah, you can get it at the Dugout Stores as well.
So you woke up one morning and you said to yourself, I want to write a book. No?
No. Well, I mean, kind of. It was a 2-year process for me. But honestly, that story's been brewing since I was a little kid, and I think that you'll see some of that stuff in there. It's not a biography, but it's got fun stories in there. The Reason I'm Afraid of Sharks is in there. Yeah. My bride of 13 years actually yelled at me and said she'd never marry a person like me, and I won that war, I guess. But
Salesman of the Year.
Yeah. And then, but it's got other stuff in there. My journey in baseball. It's not all great. You know, I wanted to quit many times. I've had tons of injuries. There's stories in there on that of how I hated the game and learned to love the game because I found out my place in this game. There's actually another fun story in chapter 12.
On the ground, Chavez a nice backhand, and he's going to throw out Torres.
During a contract year, we signed a contract and it got cleared. It's a really interesting story in there because I think it was a big part of who I became and who I am, and I actually gave money back after the contract was cleared by the baseball union, Major League Baseball. My agent actually found out that they had paid me too much for one of the years, but I could have kept it, and I decided to give it back, and the story's in there, and there's a reason why, and it's just who I am, and I think there's a big reason of why I did that, and I think you'll read that in the book as well, and in my fight against poverty and human trafficking, and why I do that with baseball players in the major leagues.
Here's Crawford, who takes a call strike. So some of your personality is in this book.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to me that's why I would read it, because you do have a terrific personality. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Crawford, and it's 0-2.
What's scarier, pitching in a World Series or having to meet a deadline with your publisher?
Yeah, well, I think the World Series. You know, the good thing about being a baseball player and writing a book is there is no death. Hey, look, I'm trying to play baseball right now. I'll get the chapter to you when I get it to you, you know? But it might be different if you're a writer. But it was an interesting process for me. And like I said, it's just a story. I'm a pretty private guy when it comes to my family. There's a window into that a little bit, but there's a window on why I do what I do. And as a baseball player, I'm in the community quite a bit. And I work with an unbelievable organization here in San Fran called Not For Sale. And the story's in there. And that is what's driving me right now to do what I do as a baseball player. Because we have over 40 athletes in the major leagues that have joined me in this fight for human trafficking. And I'm trying to get people to understand that you can be a leader in baseball, but you can use your skills on the field to be a leader in the community, and I think we need more athletes like that.
Crawford goes down swinging, and that'll bring up Matt King.
I think your generation is well represented away from the field, and there's a lot of charity work a lot of people don't really know too much about, and I'm proud of your generation. You have all stood tall, and I think that your media sources and your social networks have helped you do that, and you've handled it very responsibly.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just, for me, it's just one of those things where when I think about being a successful person on the field, we were given tons of opportunities, and you guys know that. You guys were great major league athletes, so you were given a lot of opportunities to do a lot of good things. And when you actually take a step back and look out in the world and see how many people.
Cody Ross will track this one down. We're going to keep Jeremy Affeldt around for another half inning. We'll let him finish his story. The book is called To Stir a Movement. 4-0 D-backs. And this is a flashback. Go to Game 6 in 2010. And Jonathan Sanchez, he gets a little upset and this and that. And meanwhile, everybody comes on the field. You don't.
Yeah, that was
Weren't you told to go to...
I was. I almost ran out there, and Gardy had to grab me, and he's like, you can't go out there. You're going in the game, and you need to warm up. And I'm like, yeah, but the Phillies fans, the things are calling me right now. I'm going to start crying. I mean, the names, I mean, you can't even... I didn't even know they had those kind of names. And it was ruthless with me warming up out there.
Yeah, it's an art form.
I'm sure it was an odd feeling to be doing that, but I mean, when you look at it now, that was the right thing to do.
100%. I mean, Gardy's heads up right there was pretty awesome, because if not, I'm warming up probably on the field. And so for me, it's like a deal where it's like I hate warming up on the field. I absolutely hate it, because they're staring at you, they're in the box, they're timing you. It's just you feel like you got to hurry up. And so to be able to sit down there and warm up like that, I felt really good coming into that game.
When people ask you about the difference between 2010 and 2012, the World Championships, what do you tell them?
Man, I mean, personally or just as a team? I mean, for me, it was I just got to participate in a lot more. And everybody says, well, the Phillies game. Yeah, but that was one game. I mean, I was in every single one of those games in Cincinnati and St. Louis and in Detroit where it was game on the line. I mean, for me, it was just that whole experience was incredible. The amount of games that Bochy put me in and he trusted me with. I mean, you go to bed feeling a little. When you participate like that, you feel a little bit better about yourself.
Was there a point in time in November when it was all said and done, the parade is over, you get back home, you just kind of sat in your sofa and went, whew, what just happened, Howard?
For me, yeah, because it was, you got to look back for, when you get to we won it all in the parade, but yeah, you sit there and then think, wait a minute, Cincinnati has never been swept at home the entire year in their ballpark with that offense, and we did
struck out 16 times, got one hit, and win the game.
Yeah, in that game, yeah, it was like everything was going in our favor, and I agree. You know, when sometimes getting to the World Series and winning it, you have to have things going your way a little bit. Maybe a ball hit the bag or like that, 16 punch outs with one hit, and you win the game. But it is what it is, and we came out on top, and I definitely wouldn't ask for a do-over, that's for sure.
No, there's a foul out of play. It remains 2-2. I think one of the great shots that I saw was in Texas after the win to win a world championship was the shot of you and it has to be your oldest son, right?
Walker, yeah.
And Walker wasn't very big, and you knelt down and you gave him a big hug or kiss. I don't remember, but I remember it being one of those moments that somebody got a good picture of it. I know that. Yeah,
and the story behind that's hilarious, because when you just got out of the shower there, the partying shower in the clubhouse, and he took a sniff and he said, Dad, you smell funny. And I'm like, yeah, that's apple juice, buddy. You know, that's the first thing he said is, what's that smell? It's pretty funny.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Mum's apple juice.
This is popped up, maybe playable. Buster Posey comes over, and he's going to run out of room.
Actually hit the backstop.
You know, you and your manager play off each other very well. You do. And he's not in the same room with you now, so he cannot hear you now. Just tell everybody how much you appreciate this guy.
You know, that man and I have been through a lot. You know, we had a love-hate relationship going for a little bit there, because I hate not pitching, and then so when he doesn't pitch me for a few days, you know, I'm not happy with him, and then sometimes he'll pitch me like 17 days in a row, so then I'm mad at him for that too, wearing me out. But you know what? That guy is, you know, the more I've gotten to know him, he's an unbelievable baseball man. That guy is very, very smart at what he does. And sometimes there's not necessarily, he doesn't go by, you know, the normal, you know, this guy for that guy. He goes with his gut sometimes, and it's an awesome deal. You know, I just think the more I've watched him manage ball games, and how he's handled us in meetings. He's never yelled or just thrown stuff. He's just talked to you, and he's always available to you. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Bruce Bochy.
And you know when he's ticked, right?
You do. Sometimes he kicks the ball bucket. One time his foot got stuck in that bucket, and I kind of laughed at him. And his look to me was not exactly the greatest, but it's still funny.
Here's Gregorius, and this is going to be skied out into left center field. And it'll be Pagan. Jeremy, thank you.
Yeah.
Check out the book. It's by Jeremy Affeldt.
Yeah.
Here it's 4-0 Diamondbacks.
Is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit HEPINS.com.
4-0 Arizona. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Time now for our AT&T trivia question. You can tweet your answer to CSN Giants. The question tonight: who was the first Giants player to hit a splash home run other than Barry Bonds? And you can tweet your answer to CSN Giants. Let's think about that a bit.
Wow, that's a good one. See the lights of the Bay Bridge inside AT&T Park, where the Giants have not had a base runner against Patrick Corbin.
9 up, 9 down, 4 strikeouts. So the first time through the lineup, Corbin has been perfect.
So here's Angel Pagan. Pagan bounced out to short. Really make the difference in the first inning is the Diamondbacks' first hitter Parra bounced to short and Crawford made an error. This is hit foul third base side, and Pagan grounded out to short, and they got the out, and it changed really the whole inning.
Okay, we're good here. Got some good buddies, pulled him back in.
Ted Marcus, the third base ball dude. 1-1. And this is a fair ball right over the bag. And a fan touched it. And look, I feel bad for the guy.
He's gone. That could have been a triple. You cannot touch the ball. Right over the bag. Almost hits the umpire, Doug Eddings. And here, as it gets over the mound and it gets towards the side, watch what happens.
I mean, so here's Scutero. You're right, it could have been a triple.
And that fan is gone.
Scutero hit a fly ball to right. And Gregarious putting on a pickoff play, and Corbin chooses not to throw. So the fan, being very gracious, knows the deal. And there's a strike, and it's 0-1.
See a lot of those rings around this ballpark. Those were the giveaway rings on Ring Day. And the Giants received theirs. 40,000 fans received theirs. And we see them all over the city.
Scudero chases the pitch in the dirt. It's 0-2. So nice visit from Jeremy Affeldt.
Now, Jeremy Affeldt, when he's done playing, he's a natural to get behind the microphone. And you see him at some of these functions when he's speaking and all the players are there. He's just fantastic, very articulate, funny. And you know, if he wants to, he can come back in this game and go right up to the broadcast booth.
Oh, 0-2 to Scudero. Very high.
So Montero wanted the elevator fastball.
Remember the old quote from Ron Peronowski about Oral Hershiser when Oral was with the Giants and he was just about, everybody just, oh, he could do this, he could do that. And it's a big story in the newspaper about Oral Hershiser and what he might do when his career is over. Aronofsky said the only jobs that were safe within the Giants organization were the Spanish broadcasters. And you might be able to say that about Jeremy Affeldt.
Well, we said that about Hershiser. He could go in the front office, he could go on the field, he could coach, he could manage. Well, he did. He was a pitching coach for a year in the big leagues, maybe 2. And now he's, I think, one of the really great broadcasters in the game. You just knew, I mean, he could do whatever he wanted to in the game.
Scudero waves at a pitch and he struck him out.
Well, the NBC Bay Area Investigative Unit, led by Tony Kowaleski, well, they're an award-winning team of 14 journalists dedicated to holding the powerful accountable. The Investigative Unit on NBC Bay Area. We investigate.
So it's very unusual to see Scudero having an at-bat like that, because he's trying desperately to get Pagan over to third.
Now, that's one of the few times I've seen him.
Yeah, you can tell he's disgusted.
Not get that job done. So Sandoval is going to try and pick him up right here, so that at-bat is forgotten.
High to right field. As the wind knocks it down, Cody Ross will make the catch, and tagging and going to third is Pagan. I think Sandoval hit that ball pretty good.
Sounding loud. But I mean, that's sort of salt in the wound right there. Had Scudero been able to get him over, he would have scored easily. Pagan would have scored easily on that fly ball. So now it's up to Buster Posey to try and pick everybody up here with a 2-out RBI. Giants need to get something on the board with these hitters coming up this inning.
Buster Posey struck out to lead off the second inning. Coming into this game, Buster Posey was 4 for 11 against Corbin. Down low. That's Eric Cooper who got the appeal. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Posey in the center field. On the move is Pollock, and Pollock is going to put it away on the track, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. It remains 4-0 D-backs.
question. The question tonight: who was the first Giants player to hit a splash home run other than Barry Bonds? Our survey said, well, it was Felipe Crespo. He did it May 28th against the Diamondbacks. Brett Prinz was on the hill. Let's take a look at that swing of the bat. Anytime baseball, and there was no doubt about it. Barry Bonds hit the first 9 splash home runs for the Giants, and Felipe Crespo became the first guy other than Bonds to do it. That's our AT&T trivia question.
If you got that, you're good. You're real good.
Real good. Here's our splash camera. Mike Muldowney, alias Mulrunsky. It's quite a view he's got it there.
Corbin takes a strike. He struck out in the second. Andres Torres moving back. 1 out. Hey, big Giants fan, Casey.
Gamer babe.
Going with the orange scarf, warm cap.
Yeah, she's rocking the orange very, very cutely. Nice going.
There you go. This guy here. Oh, working on some peanuts, maybe.
He was eating them like he was going to the electric chair.
Here's Parra. Parra's reached on an error and he struck out. A bit high to Gerardo Parra, who really was a 4th outfielder, and then outfielders started dropping like flies for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he's a good player. Gold Glove winner. On that Venezuelan WBC team. With all the trades that the Diamondbacks made in the offseason, he figured to get a lot of playing time this year.
1 and 2.
Little change up. Chris Young gone, Justin Upton gone.
Yeah, and then they started adding guys like Cody Ross, Eaton, Kubel. 1 and 2 to Parra. 4-0 Diamondbacks, and Parra out swinging. Well, fans, on Monday, May 6th, it's Japanese Heritage Night as the Giants begin a 3-game series with the Phillies. 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com/special events. Here's Prado. The Braves are playing a doubleheader in Colorado. The Braves beat the Rockies in an afternoon game, and they're pounding them in the second game. And Justin Upton's got home runs in each game. 11 now total.
Well, the Braves just keep rolling. Jason Hayward, one of the disabled last night, had an emergency appendectomy. So he's DL'd for a couple of weeks.
Sandoval will pick it up, take his time, throw high, and Prado reaches underneath the tag of Arias. That'll be the second error committed by the Giants in this game.
Got to him, he stops it, goes back, he knows he has time, shuffle step, and here's where he makes a high throw. And Arias just may have gotten a piece of Prado. Eric Cooper, the first base umpire, making the call saying no contact. He got him.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
One more look. He's out. D-backs catch a break, and Goldschmidt, who is the hottest man on this team, already with a 2-run homer, has a chance to make that error really sting.
He's going to have a hard time hitting that pitch out.
Well, think back to last at bat. There was a curveball that was not called a strike that was a whole lot better than that pitch. So as we said, this umpire John Campaign, he does have a little inconsistency to his strike zone. And he just showed on the last pitch.
Ball back on a mighty rip.
Yeah, that's a location mistake. I mean, that's a fastball that Posey wanted off the plate. And he got a little lazy with that thing, came right back across the middle of the plate. And again, it's the guy with power like Goldschmidt has, and he got away with it there. Not used to seeing Kane miss locations with the fastball.
Here's the 0-2. And he got him to end the inning. No runs, an error, 1 left. It'll be Pence, Arias, and Torres coming up.
Is brought to you by Eric's Deli Cafe. Only when the salty and sweet are perfectly balanced is harmony achieved.
Giants and Diamondbacks tomorrow to close out the series. It's a 12:30 pregame live, and or pregame live is going to start at noon. 12:30 is the starting time right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. And tomorrow's game will wrap up this 3-game series. Day off on Thursday. Friday night in San Diego is here's Pence. And Pence hits a bouncing ball into right field, a base hit. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, Dwayne, it's long been noted how difficult right field is to play here at AT&T Park, and fans witnessed it last night when former Giant Cody Ross absolutely robbed Buster Posey of an extra base hit. He made an excellent catch. It was so athletic, and skipper Bruce Bochy of the Giants talked about Cody and what a good Giant he was and why, saying that he always stayed ready when he was a Giant. He had a great attitude, and when he came here, he didn't play every day, but because of that attitude and staying ready, he became a leader and was obviously instrumental in the Giants winning the World Series. Dwayne?
Oh, yeah. We will not forget Cody Ross.
No,
that's
he was good,
for sure.
Good Giant. Fan favorite. Ross is the boss. Never forget a conversation I had one day before a game during batting practice with Pat Burrell and Aubrey Huff.
He'll be out of play.
And there was a rumor going around that the Giants were trying to get Cody Ross. And Pat Burrell said to Aubrey Huff, if we get Ross, we'll win this thing. And they got him, and indeed they did. It was great because when Cody Ross got over here later on that year, I told him, I said, this is what they said about you. And he loved that story.
Ball gets away. Pence is going to go down to second. Arias is out. There's some hitters in this lineup that have had a hard time laying off of that breaking ball in the dirt.
Well, he's got a good slider. I mean, that's his bread and butter. Guys, I don't think guys are seeing him well. I mean, especially Marco Scudero. I mean, he's a guy that doesn't happen to very often. 6 strikeouts for Corbin, and a lot of them have been on that slider. Change up. Been 3 pitches pretty much for Corbin. Fastball, slider, changeup.
Crawford is on deck. To right field, Cody Ross is there. He'll reach up and make the catch. Pence will tag. So Torres has had a couple of good at-bats, and he's got 0 to show for it. And here's Crawford. Crawford struck out in the 3rd inning. Corbin bent over as he looks into Miguel Montero. And the first pitch is high. Didn't left too many of those up there. 1 ball and no strikes.
And this really is not one of those situations, if you're Corbin, where you're going to use a base. You're going to pretty much, with a 4-0 lead, go at Crawford. Put the pressure on him.
2-0.
It's a 2-0 ball game. You have a pitcher on deck and a couple of bases to play with. Yeah, you would nibble. There's that jacket again.
Yeah, good luck last night. 2-0 to Crawford. 3-0 to Crawford.
And he's nibbling. He hadn't had many 3-0 counts tonight, if any.
And a strike. 3-1. See if Crawford gets a pitch here. He does, and he pops it up. Parra coming in, and he'll make the catch. And that'll end the. It remains 4-0 D-backs.
is brought to you by the Solar Company. Not just any solar company, the solar company.
MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for baseball everywhere you go. MLB.tv premium subscribers can get at-bat premium features for free and watch live out-of-market games. Text at-bat to 31826 or visit sfgiants.com for details. It's a zoo.
Pandas, giraffes, white sharks, angels.
We got them all.
Got them all.
Here's Montero. Montero on the first pitch bounces one to Scudero, and he's retired.
One pitch outs to start inning. Gifts. In the era of the pitch count, I mean, that's especially important. Next pitch for Kane, number 80.
Here's Ross. Ross is lined out and he struck out. Here he takes a strike. Remember the night he hit one off of Kane when he was with the Marlins?
I do.
And he flipped the bat and it kind of ticked off the old horse.
Yeah, understandably. But when Cody Ross got to Mike Murphy's clubhouse, put on a Giants uniform for the first time, didn't take very long for Matt Cain and Cody Ross to become good friends.
Here's the 1-1. I think Cain brought it up immediately, if I remember the story, right?
Yeah.
Two and one to Cody Ross with one out and nobody on. Crawford has this one shoot by him. And the top spin line drive.
Yeah, top spin one hoppers, do or die play. Well, get up to the minute you're up with Today in the Bay. See breaking news, your weather forecast, and real-time traffic. Watch Today in the Bay weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m. on NBC Bay Area.
So here's Chavez. He's hit a fly ball to deep right center field, and he's bounced out to Scudero at second. Up and in, and it's a ball and no strikes.
Just missed the two-seam fastball. So nice two-pitch sequence there. Four-seam on the hands, inside corner, didn't get that. Went with a two-seamer on the outside corner, didn't get that. But two different types of fastball, two different types of movement in the eye of the hitter.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. 3-0. On the 3-0 pitch, Chavez out of play down the left field line.
That does not surprise me, given the manager of the Diamondbacks, Kirk Gibson, a hitter, understands the importance of count leverage and a 3-0 count against a guy like him. He's going to come at you, trying to take advantage of it, turning Chavez loose.
Up the middle and a base hit past Crawford.
All right, given the opportunity, what would Dwayne Kuiper choose here? The answer is 100% of the time.
100 out of 100. Oh, and I'll take the extra large where I can come back for a refill.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I guess that's probably only at the movies. Dave Urghetti out. We're starting to see some bullpen activity.
So Javier Lopez heading down the Giants' pen.
Do you ever go to an early movie like 11:30, and you have to make that choice, whether it's lunch or popcorn?
Absolutely. And lunch loses every time. And you know what happens is you walk in the movie house and you smell the popcorn, and that's it.
Or you could have one of those hot dogs that have been rolling around in that thing for a couple of years.
No, that's a bad move. Those will kill you.
That? It's corn. It's healthy. Here's A.J. Pollock. Pollock is 0 for 2. Here he takes the ball 1-0.
Kane needs a ground ball to get 2 outs here badly.
Yes, he does. Gets it on the ground to Scudero. Scudero will tag the runner. That's 1. And to first, that's 2. So Chavez runs through Scudero, and there's the ground ball. And now we will head to the 6th. It's 4-0 D-backs. I want to get that. I want to get that.
For our Ford right choice. And what is the pitcher's best friend? Well, it's a pitch that gets 2 outs with 1 pitch. A nice play there by Scudero to tag out Chavez. And this is what sets the play up. Chavez stops right there. They don't get the deuce. Then they have a runner at first and third, 2 outs. But he runs right into Scudero, who flips it over to Arias, and they complete the double play. And that's our Ford right choice.
So Guillermo Quiroz is going to pinch hit for Matt Cain. So Cain's night is over. He allows 3 earned runs. Quiroz, veteran guy, veteran catcher from Maracaibo, Venezuela. Very polite. He's a gentleman. And I think he appreciates every second he's in the big leagues.
Hard worker. And really is a gifted receiver. And he's done a good job pinch hitting since he's been here.
Goldschmidt's going to make a nice play. I think the wind kept that one from going right out into the stands. The 2012 San Francisco Giants champion collection for fans. It's earrings, cufflinks, it's championship ring. Well, just check it out. You can go to a dugout store, any one of the dugout stores, or sfgiants.com/fanring, and you will see what you can get. Here's Pagan. Pagan hits one on the ground to short. Gregorius has it. Throws a grounder to first. 2 outs.
Well, if you're an infielder on the left side of the infield, if you're going to make an errant throw, make it low. You see the out distribution from Corbin. 3 ground balls, 8 flyouts, 6 strikeouts. He has been masterful tonight. Giants just 2 hits.
There's a strike to Scudero, who's had a little difficult time against Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he has seen Corbin well tonight.
On the ground to Goldschmidt, and this will be a 1-2-3 inning here in the 6th. 7th inning coming up. Giants will have a new pitcher. It's 4-0 D-backs.
No way!
Here's our Toyota game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Corbin's been fantastic. Kane allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings. Goldschmidt hit a long home run. And the Giants' record this year against lefties, 5-1, but this one in jeopardy. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. It's Javier Lopez who needs some work.
Well, this will be the 7th time he comes in. 3 innings pitched on the year, 6 hits allowed, 1 walk. And he does need some work. But he needs to keep the score right here, the way Patrick Corbin has been pitching. Giants cannot afford to go down any more in the score.
Here's Gregorius, who is 0 for 2. Lefty against lefty, and a good pitch and a called strike. The Giants got the Brewers going, didn't they?
Brewers are the hottest team on the planet right now.
Here's a 1-8 straight, and they're leading in San Diego 6-3. That game in the 5th inning.
sweeper and a foul back, 0-2.
And everybody's happy.
And Gregorius out swinging. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy.
Hey, Dwayne, we have a new Diamond Girls available for fans at csnberry.com. This one with Haley Belt, Brandon's significant other. She talks about what it's like for her when Brandon's going through some struggles at the plate. She also gives us an update on the house they're building in Texas and the key to making the perfect birthday cake. csnberry.com. Diamond Girls, Dwayne.
All right. All right. This is fair down the left field line. And Patrick Corbin has a double.
Well, and so far it's been Patrick Corbin night. That is his first hit of the year. Fans really have blown it tonight. They got to stay away from the ball. I mean, they didn't touch it there, so they got lucky. Had they have touched it, they'd be on their way out of the stadium right now. It's a zero tolerance policy here, and we want to warn everybody: if you're sitting on those seats by the sidelines, and a ball comes your way, do not touch it. If it's fair and you touch it, you're going home.
Well, basically, that gentleman is saying the same thing that you just said. Check the ticket. You sit here and then don't touch it. So here's Parra. Parra's 0 for 3. He did reach on an error in the first inning and eventually scored. And another strike to make it 0-2. I remember a conversation you had with Ron Renicky, the Brewers manager, saying, look, we're just trying to hold things together here.
Yeah, well, that was 8 wins ago.
Former teammate of yours, by the way, swinging a miss. Parra with a hat trick tonight.
You're talking about some of the injuries that have hit the Dodgers in their starting rotation. Well, in the starting lineup, the Milwaukee Brewers had all kinds of problems with injuries. Bruce Bochy's coming out, and he's going to make a move. And George Cantos is coming in this game.
So Cantos will be facing Martin Prado. Corbin at second base with 2 outs. Cantos coming in. We'll be back.
brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
4-0 D-backs. Replacing Javier Lopez is George Cantos. As you can see, he's a right-hander.
George Cantos coming in for the 10th time this year. 10 strikeouts in 10 innings against 1 walk. He's given up 9 base runners. Again, you know, we always talk about April can be a little weird for relievers. You have 1 bad inning and it can blow up your ERA, but he's been throwing the ball well.
Prado is single walk, and he's reached on an error. Reached on a Pablo Sandoval error in the 5th. No harm. The error. And the pitch to Prado, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Seen a little better fastball out of Cantos.
Yeah, he's been like 92, 94. And that's a couple feet more than what we saw consistently last year. Last year, he's pretty much right around 90.
Yeah. And he gets the call, and it's 0-2. Two outs. 1 on. And the 0-2. And Prado trying to protect. Misses the slider. Giants need to do something. Sandoval to lead things off.
Hi, I'm Bob Brenly, and I hate the Dodgers.
You know, they take a look at some highlights of Bob Brenly, who's in the booth next to us. And he was a good catcher.
He was fun to throw to.
There's Bob on the left.
One of my all-time favorites right there.
Yep. When I got traded to the Giants, Bob Brenly was a rookie. And you talk about earning your way to the big leagues. He spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. He was an all-star in 1984. He played from 1981 to 1989. And he is also wearing a World Series ring from that 2001 World Championship Arizona Diamondbacks team that he managed.
Well, he's another guy who's done everything in this game. He's been a coach, he's been a broadcaster, he's been a manager, all-star player, and just he makes me laugh every time I get around him.
Here's Sandoval. It'll be Sandoval, Posey, and Pence. And Sandoval takes a strike. Sandoval pops this one up. It's over by the Diamondbacks dugout, and Goldschmidt, who's doing just about everything, makes a nice catch.
Well, Goldschmidt's playing in this ballpark like he plays here every day. Talking about the lifetime success he's had. He's got more home runs against the Giants than anybody. He is comfortable in this yard. And he used every bit of that big old first baseman's glove to make that play.
So here's Buster Posey, who is 0 for 2 tonight. And he shoots this one up the middle for a base hit. So Buster Posey doesn't waste any time, and that'll bring up Hunter Pence. Pence rolled a single to the right side in the 5th inning. So he has one of the Giants' 3 hits. First pitch down low, 1 ball and no strikes. The Pence fan.
This is absolutely essential. This inning right here, these opportunities right here. They're seeing Corbin for the 3rd time. They've got a good idea about how he's trying to work him, what the ball's doing.
Now coming in is Pollock, and Pollock will put it away. Pence hit that ball towards the end of the bat.
I think that's what Corbin's done so well tonight. I mean, he's just kept the ball off the sweet spot of the bat. When he's missed, he's been down below the zone, and look at his distribution of pitches. He really hasn't had to work hard in any one inning. The most pitches he has thrown in any inning was 14 back in the 2nd.
So here's Arias with a runner at first and 2 outs. Pitch number 72 coming up for Corbin. And Arias has had a hard time picking that pitch up. It's 0-1.
Well, the Giants need an igniter right here. They need an extra base hit. They need something to go into a gap or run into one and knock it out of the ballpark. They need something that lights up that dugout. Because right now, Corbin is just throwing water over the party.
Well, you start thinking about that breaking ball, and you take pitches like that. It's 0-2.
Yeah, that was on a corner with cut. For a guy who's probably looking middle way hard, then you're not going to pull the trigger on that. They're going right back in.
That's foul.
This is not the first time that Corbin has snuffed the Giants. Last September, went 8 strong, just 2 hits allowed. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. That 8-inning stint was the most he'd ever pitched in a big league game.
1-2 on the pitch down low.
And that was pitch number 75. So if you're thinking about how far he could go in this game,
a while.
He's got a lot left in the gas tank. He's got 40 more pitches in him.
And you knew he was going to try to finish Arias off with that pitch, and he does. And that's his 7th strikeout. 8th inning coming up.
Giants postgame live right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. David Feldman will go into the Giants clubhouse. You'll get plenty of reaction and analysis from this one. You get complete Warriors Game 2 coverage, and Sharks go for the clinch. You'll get that story, all that and more right here on the Hyundai Sportsnet Central tonight, right after Giants postgame live.
So George Cantos, who ended the 7th inning by striking out Prado, will open up the 8th by facing Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt has 3 RBIs in this game. Look out. Scud?
Scud, as Jeremy Affelt would call it. Man, one that bounces way out in front of the catcher. Look out, Buster. A catcher's nightmare.
Man, totally in on that.
Just, you know it's going to hurt when you see it leave his hand. Just pray there's nobody at third base.
One and 0 to Goldschmidt. Same guy threw the same 2 pitches. On deck, Montero.
What can happen to you? Give you the greatest groove of your life. You can still throw it out there that bounces in front of home plate by 10 feet. You can't explain it. You just make an adjustment, apply it to the next pitch.
Two and 2.
But if you're a catcher, you do not appreciate it. They don't think it's funny. Pitchers, they think it's hilarious.
Full count to Goldschmidt. This is the home run. You can see the ball leak right in.
Set the outside target. It comes back in middle in, and Kane knew it. And a curveball that was not called a strike earlier in that at bat. It really changed everything. They went from a 1-2 count to a 2-1 count. He missed on the 3-1 pitch and then comes back in and misses a location with a fastball, and that really was a big swing of the bat in this game. Patrick Corbin has done the rest.
And Goldschmidt fouls off a good pitch. And by doing so, he will see another one.
Yeah, that slider there was about as good as Cantos has on a 3-2 count. You know you got to be in the strike zone. And he nailed that outside corner just about as good as you can do it.
I think he's seeing the ball pretty good right now.
I mean, he's right on that one. And that's another nasty slider from Cantos. And his slider is not the normal slider. But Goldschmidt was not fooled. He had both cheeks into that swing.
And that got Buster Posey.
I'm not sure how much of that baseball he got, but it wasn't a whole lot to stay alive.
To get Buster in the knee?
Let's watch. Foot. At least one a night. Sometimes 8.
Here's the 10th pitch coming to Paul Goldschmidt. And he got him.
Fastballed him. And again, a perfect pitch. So a nice duel there, won by Cantos to get the first out here this inning. And I mean, that's perfection location-wise. And then Goldschmidt knew it.
So here's Montero, who's 0 for 3 ground balls. And with those 3 ground balls, he does have an RBI. And that's foul back.
And Montero, boy, he loves that first pitch, doesn't he? He was buggy whipping.
The average now under 200. Down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Down low again, 2-1.
It's a good thing, though, if you're Contos, you miss him down low. If you're a power arm, your best pitches are fastballs and sliders. Better to miss down than it is up.
Hit the other way, Sandoval's got it. And he will throw on to first. And a nice play by the Panda.
That's a play that you see when a guy's hitting 197. Montero does everything right here but get the hit. 1 hopper on his belly, straightens up. And one more time, I'm looking at the quickness of the Panda as he blows a bubble through the whole thing. All of Will Clark. Fan reaction? Oh, yeah.
A little breezy out there.
Just a tad.
Cody Ross takes wide.
Hurricane Bob blowing through here. The difference tonight compared to last night. Last night was really a night for hitting. Tonight has been a little bit chillier.
Yeah, like that chilly.
She looks pretty toasty, though. Dad's taking care of her.
Look out. We don't get many in our booth, but that was about a foot from being in here.
Landed about right here. Well, Brindley would have made the play.
I don't think so. I think his deal is if he doesn't have a mask on, he's not going to try to make the play. Scooter Owen off balance throw. And Arias could not dig it out. It'll be a base hit for Cody Ross.
2-hit night for Ross. Watch it right in the glove. It's going to be an off balance throw. He's got to hurry. Ross could put some heat on a play with his speed. And to the backhand of Arias, and he cannot swipe it and keep it in the glove.
So here's Chavez. Chavez 1 for 3, single in the 6th. He takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Dodgers won tonight. They beat the Mets. Colorado lost a pair today. San Diego is losing. And here it's 4-0 D-backs. Two balls and no strikes.
Looking to foul. A fastball down the left field line and out of play.
We have a winner. Foul ball sweepstakes. Let's watch the play. Oh, yeah. That's a player. Soft hands. Warm heart.
Been a lot easier, though, Mikey, if you bring your glove. Out of play, another fastball. They thought they had a shot in the club level.
And they're getting booed. And they should get booed. Make a play, meet. Bring your glove. I think this guy's reminding him of that.
The glove here at the yard. 2-2. The dirt.
Pretty easy take right there.
Three balls, two strikes, two outs. That means Cody Ross will be on the move.
Gene Machi heading down to get loose the Giants pin.
On the walk.
Well, if there's one good thing that's coming out of this inning is that Patrick Corbin has had to sit a long time in that Diamondback dugout.
Good strategy.
Hey, I'm just looking for some silver lining. Cold night.
Here's A.J. Pollock. Pollock is 0 for 3. He takes a slider for a strike, and it's 0-1. Ball squirts away from Cantos. Ross at second, Chavez at first, two outs. Hit right back to Cantos, and that'll end the inning. So the Diamondbacks strand a pair. The deficit remains at 4, and it'll be Andres Torres to lead it off.
Tune immediately after Giants baseball for Esurance Giants postgame live. Highlights, reaction, and analysis, and it's all coming up right after the ball game. So here's Torres. Torres takes a pitch high. Corbin has thrown 77 pitches. Here he lines this one. That'll be foul.
That's some strong top hand on that hack there. Remember, he has one of the heavier bats on this club. No problem throwing the head on that swing.
Puts this one up the middle. On the backhand is Prado, and he throws it away.
Yeah, he knew that Torres is coming down that line quickly. He had to hurry the throw. The Giants get a leadoff runner on base. All night, however, Patrick Corbin has been magnificent. Got 7 strikeouts. A lot of them on the slider. And he's been very, very efficient with his pitch count. Only 1 inning where he has had 14. That's the most he's thrown in any inning. That was back in the second. And you see everything down around the knees, and then the movement takes it below the knees. And the Giants have not been able to lay off.
So here's Crawford. And Crawford hammers one. Nobody's going to get this one. And Andres Torres gets to let it out. Crawford's headed for 3. Torres is going to score. And the Giants are on the board. It's 4-1.
And that's the wake-up call they've been looking for. And just like that, some activity in the Diamondbacks bullpen.
It's a triple for Crawford.
Oh, he split the gap right in Triple's alley. We have not seen Corbin make many mistakes up tonight, and that was one of them. Right out over the plate at the belt. And you think about that long 8th inning, he had to sit down there and wait on a cold night. David Hernandez starts to get up. He's the 8th inning setup guy.
Charlie Nagy is the pitching coach. He's out to talk to Corbin. The hitter is going to be Hector Sanchez. Remember, the Giants tied the game last night in the 8th inning. So here's Hector Sanchez. Switch hitter batting right-handed. And he looks at a strike, and it's 0-1.
1 to measure.
Down low. So Crawford is at third, and the 1-1 to Sanchez. And a late call strike, 1-2.
And that's a pitcher strike, cutting that fastball in that inside corner.
And he stays alive. Sanchez does with that dribbler foul. Here's the 1-2. It's blocked by Montero. 2-2.
Yeah, it really was. The ball came up. Did a good job smothering the high bounce. It was the 8th inning last night where the Giants came back down 4-2 in that game. They tied it, only to win it in the bottom of the 9th. They are very, very confident that they can come back.
And Sanchez just got a piece.
That's a pretty good pitch to hit right there. That breaking ball was up.
The 2-2 pitch. Out of play is Sanchez. A good rip at that 2-2 pitch.
Put up a good fight here with 2 strikes.
Consistent on the ground to third. Chavez will watch Crawford score. They get the out, and it's 4-2. So now you need a base runner.
Well, you got the right part of the lineup coming up. Not often anymore in the big leagues you get a chance to get 4 at-bats against the guy. So the Giants know everything they need to know about Corbin.
Strike to Pagan, who's 1 for 3. He doubled in the 4th.
Changeup and a good one. Right up there in that outside corner. Perfect location. And again, the inside cut. And they get that pitcher strike. Set up on the inside corner and watch where he receives this ball. But a nice job of keeping his body behind that ball when he received it by Montero, and that's why they got the strike. Pagan not buying it. It's a tough one to take after you just took 1 strike about 6 inches closer to the plate. 2 strikes, you got to expand it. It could be a little weird up there when you have one called bad against you and you just don't think it's near the strike zone. That was a smart pitch.
So it's 2-2 now to Pagan.
It's a family affair.
They love their Giants. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a full count. How about that? 0-2 to 3-2.
Now that was his chance to go out of the strike zone and hope that Pagan would go out and chase. And you point out, you want base runners any way you can get on. This has been a great at bat for Pagan. He knows the importance of momentum. And so does everybody here.
Out of play, Pagan stays alive. Three and 2. And that's hooked foul.
Went right back in with that cut fastball in the inside corner. In the same area that was called a, well, it was kind of a controversial strike. And Pagan covered it the best way he could. But he fought off a good pitch right there.
Up the middle and a base hit.
That is a great at bat.
He went from 0-2 to 3-2 to a base hit up the middle. And that's it for Corbin.
Couldn't walk him. I had to challenge him, and it goes right back where it came from. That's one of the best at-bats in the game by either team.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Hernandez is the new pitcher.
Big fella out of Sacramento. Elk Grove, to be specific. 6'3", 230-pounder, throws hard. Mid-90s fastball, hard curveball and a changeup. Go get him.
Facing Marco Scudero.
Saw the strikeout total, 13 strikeouts in 9 innings, but he was the guy last night who came into a 4-2 ball game and gave up the long 2-run homer off of the bat opposing. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is very fresh on his mind.
Hit out to right field for Cody Ross. So Scudero's retired on one pitch. And now Hernandez is going to have to get through Sandoval. Sandoval is 0 for 3. Pagan with his lead, and Sandoval fouls it out of play.
94 at the knees on the black outside corner. And he was on it.
Kind of where Sandoval likes it, isn't
it? Don't bet against this guy making hard contact. I don't care where you put the ball up there.
And a base hit to right field. Pagan's going to shoot over to third. And now we get a rematch. And the rematch is because of this last night.
Got a fastball out over the plate and went right back over the center field wall for home run number 2. It tied the score and absolutely lit this place up. And that was the first hit he'd ever had against Hernandez in 7 at-bats. A knock and a couple of walks.
So, here's your matchup. Hernandez against Posey.
Buster tonight is 1 for 3. He's singled in the 7th. And a little pop-up that's going to go out to Prado, and that's going to end the inning. Round 2 goes to Hernandez. We'll go to the 9th. Diamondbacks. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Gene Machi on the hill now for Bruce Bochy. Machi, 6 feet tall, 260, 31 years old. In his first year at the big league level. And he's been throwing the ball extremely well. Fastball 93 to 95 miles per hour. With big-time sink, I might add. Got a kind of a slurvy breaking ball and a good split. But he is throwing with a lot of confidence. Good stuff.
He's here, and Bruce Bochy's using him.
Well, he deserves to be out there the way he's been throwing. He's been impressive.
Machi will first face D.D. Gregorius, who is 0 for 3 in tonight's ball game. And a pop-up. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Scudero. 1 pitch, 1 out. And the hitter's going to be Eric Hinsky.
Seen a lot of those 1 pitch, 1 outs to start an inning tonight.
We have.
And those aren't that commonplace, really.
Here's Hinsky. Romo retired Hinsky on 1 pitch last night. And Romo got a 1 pitch win last night.
And those are rare.
And those are rare. Hinsky rolls this one foul. Goes straight over the head of Parra, who's on deck. Seagulls are thinking about it. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul again, this time off his foot, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, that was the split. You could see the movement on that split. It's a good one. All right. Found a good home.
Pinsky out swinging. 2 outs. Stay tuned for the post-game wrap. That's going to come up in just a bit. And Mike will also talk about the game with Murph and Mac tomorrow morning on KMBR 680. Here's Parra. Parra is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. The ball's in 1 strike.
That's a good split. I mean, at 85 miles per hour, that's a unique pitch. I know one thing, it just impressed Gerardo Parra.
Yep.
He's sitting on 3 strikeouts. Is he thinking about a sombrero?
Yep. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Andres Torres, and that'll end the inning. So it's going to be Hunter Pence to lead things off. Giants need 2 to tie and 3 to go home. On Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area Plus. It's a 4-2 ball game, but it's time for a change. Things Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
J.J. Putz coming in to try and close this one out. He's got 3 saves on the year in 8 games, 11 strikeouts in 8 innings. And when you take your at bat against Putz, you're going to see a fastball that's low 90s, hard slider, and a split. And it's being a strikeout with all 3 pitches. They're all good ones.
So the Giants need a base runner. And Pence, he's at the plate. And a strike.
Chavez at third base, guarding the line. They're playing pinch to pull on the left side of the infield.
One ball and 1 strike. Pence trying to reach. And he will.
As that's hit in the gap. Pollock's going to cut it off. Actually tried to. Doesn't matter. It's a double. And Brendan Belt's going to hit. He got the hit last night to send everybody home.
Yes, he did. And this was that hit off of Tony Sepp. And everybody went home happy. And there's not one guy in that Giants dugout that doesn't think it can happen again. They have that type of confidence this late in the game. Sergio Romo getting out, starting to play catch.
Outside to Belt. Belt has faced Butts 3 times. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Swing and gonna miss to even the count.
Stayed away with 92 on that outside corner. And the Giraffe people rooting for their hero.
Yeah, they're pretty calm. The group behind, not so.
Sets that grip in a split finger. Doesn't necessarily mean he'll throw it on every pitch.
1 and 2. So Belt now behind in the count. He's got a battle. The Diamondbacks closer. Two and 2.
Split. So he's seen all 3 pitches. The fastball, the slider, and now the split. Shorten up. Protect with 2.
He hits one high. He hits it deep. Out of here. Game time. Unbelievable. And he will get a hero's welcome, folks.
He lit the Giraffe people up. He lit everybody up. And Putz had thrown 2 fastballs by him, and he's thinking he could do it one more time. And that was a bad thought.
So now the thoughts of winning it. Here's Torres. And he swings and fouls it back, and it's 0-1.
A 2-strike split that had hang time, middle in above the knees, and in a 2-strike count, you can't do any better than that. And that was a bomb.
Swing and a miss, another good 2.
From our splash camera, let's take a look at perfection in a 2-strike situation. One hop into the pond.
Oh, 2. Got him. Montero wanted that pitch out of the strike zone. And
all right, let's go through the sequence. Starts him outside with a fastball, then comes back in with another fastball, and he swings right through it. And a 1-1 count. Another fastball, so now he's got the advantage. 1-2. Way outside, easy take there, 2-2 count, and there's the mistake. They set the target away, he leaves it middle in above the thigh, and Belt makes him pay.
Here's Crawford.
Crawford takes low, 1 ball and no strikes.
And from the side, he dropped the bat and he knew it off the crack.
Run is now even to Crawford.
Well, first career pinch home run. This is one he'll remember for a while.
Well, 41,000 loved it. Crawford on the ground. It'll be Goldschmidt. 2 outs. And now Blanco's going to hit.
And Exmo watched the foot get down. Now here comes the hips right through the ball. And that's a front foot swing.
So here's Blanco. Blanco takes low. He's hitting at 275. Got 4 RBIs. The Giraffe family very happy. Get on the ground to the second baseman Prado, and that'll end the inning. So we're going to play extras tonight. Brendan Belt, 2-run home run. Bye-bye, baby. It's 4-4. Tenth, and the new pitcher is Giants closer Sergio Romo.
Take a look at the numbers for Romo in 10 games. 1-1 record with 2.00 ERA, 13 strikeouts, no walks, 6 base runners. He's got 8 saves on the year in 9 opportunities. This is, of course, not a save opportunity. Just get it to the bottom of the 10th with a score still tied opportunity.
Belt stays into the game. He's at first. And Martin Prado will be the hitter. First pitch high slider for a strike, and it's 0-1. Prado is 1 for 3. Hunter Pence in right field. 1 out. And here's Goldschmidt. Well, Goldschmidt now has reached high status in his young career. He's getting booed in visiting ballparks, especially this one.
Well, that's the ultimate compliment when you go on the road. But he has earned that respect here from the Giants fans, because this is a ballpark that he has lit up.
Romo throws him a fastball for a strike.
89-mile-an-hour two-seam paint on that outside corner.
Crawford's got it, 2 down.
Well, he got a slider that had some hang time. They set that target on the outside corner, and that thing just sort of lingered out there middle in. Had a good pitch to hit. Those consecutive games without allowing a walk. 38. And only Dennis Eckersley has had more than that at 41, and his command was legendary.
Here's Montero. Montero is 0 for 4. 1 for 5 lifetime against Sergio Romo. 2-0. Posey setting up off the plate, and this is hit on the ground past Belt into right field. Belt was guarding the line, so he had to go far to his right to try to spear that.
Well, you're going to guard the lines. You don't want to give it the double and put somebody in square position to where a single can beat you. So because of that, you definitely minimize your range. If he's in normal positioning, I mean, he gets that ball.
He does.
But again, you're not going to give up something down the line where a guy can get a double easily. Give it a single, not the double.
So here's Cody Ross. And what do you think Ross is trying to do?
Trying to yank one up there off the Coke bottle.
Oh for 2 lifetime against Romo. And that's a bit wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. Romo in the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2.
3 pitches, 3 sliders, and 2 swing throughs. And it looked like Cody Ross almost came out of his shoes on that swing. I mean, his momentum really almost carried him off across the plate after he swung and missed. And again, these great fans on their feet.
One and 2.
That's a great pitch, and that's a great take. Not an easy one either for Cody Ross. Throw it right on the outside corner, then let it fall out. I don't know how he took that thing.
And a full count. Eric Chavez is on deck. Giants now in the outfield will back up a couple of steps to try to cut the angles off on a ball hitting the gap.
That was defense, very deep.
Three and two. Montero will take off. And the walk.
Andrew Pochi wants to know where was that pitch to John Tumpain. I think it was called correctly. So the streak has ended for Romo. That is his first walk of the year, but it also walks Montero into score position.
It's called graphics jinx. And a strike to Chavez. According to our notes, this is the first look that Chavez has had against Romo. Hit on the ground to Scudero. And that'll end the inning. And the Giants will go to the bottom of the 10th. And they will have the top of the order. It's a 4-4 ball game. Is hung around for this extra inning ball game. And the new pitcher is Brad Ziegler, the sidewinder.
Now the 32-year-old sidewinder in his 5th year at the big league level. This is what he has done in 12 games. He has been a workhorse for Kirk Gibson. 13th time he has come in. And with Ziegler, you're going to see some weenies. And pretty much sinker slider. Velocity of the fastball, mid-80s. And then that big old sweeping slider. And he also will throw a changeup. He mainly throws that changeup to left-handers. But he will pound the knees. That is his zone. Down, down, and down. So how do you hit a guy like Ziegler? Look up.
Look up and try to go back up the middle. And the bunt is missed, and it's 0-1.
Jeremy Affeldt, who was with us for a couple of innings in the booth tonight, cheering his teammates on. And when you're on the disabled list, that's your job.
One ball and one strike. We're going to foul.
His last at bat in the 8th inning was one of the best at bats of the year.
I agree.
A 2-hit night for Pagan. But he really had a grinding AB against David Hernandez in that 8th inning. Well, I beg your pardon, he did it against Patrick Corbin, the starter.
Hit on the ground. Prado will wing it to first. Got him. Goldschmidt stayed on the bag.
I thought when he first moved his feet that he may have pulled his right foot. Eric Cooper making the call. It was close. Watch the right foot. He does indeed come down with his toe and just beat Pagan. Nice play from Martin Prado.
Here's Scudero. Scudero hits this one on the ground, foul to third. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Scudero 0 for 4 tonight. Chavez at third. 2 outs for Sandoval.
Now it's the Diamondbacks' turn to back up, play doubles defense. Ziegler does not give up many home runs. He has given up 1 this year. Last year in 68 innings, gave up 2. Previous year in 61 innings, didn't give up any. So he's not an easy guy to elevate.
That's a base hit to right field. And it looks like it's going to be a double. Sandoval will slide in, and the Giants have the winning run at second base with 2 outs, and Buster Posey's coming up.
This will be interesting to see how Kirk Gibson plays this. He's got an open base here, and he knows that Posey's been heating up. Just a bullet. And as they pitched the gap in right center, they really gave the line to Pablo Sandoval, and he found the gap in the defense. So an easy 2-bagger. He's in scoring position.
Now both Posey and Pence lifetime against Ziegler are 1 for 5. But you're hitting cleanup for a reason.
Well, I'm still not convinced they're going to pitch to him. And I think if they are going to pitch to him, the message from Nagy was, don't give me anything good to hit. If you walk him, so what? You've got a base to play with. If you're thinking about the outfield arms, the best one for the Diamondbacks is in left field with Parra. He's got a very good arm. Pollock in center, Cody Ross in right. Pretty much average big league arms. And indeed they are going to walk Posey. Ooh. You're up to bat. You're in the situation. Get ready to hit. They make a mistake, and he almost did it on the first pitch.
So here's Pence. Pence has 2 hits tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, 1 for 5 lifetime with a couple of strikeouts against Brad Ziegler. So here we go. Rolled foul, third base side. And it's no balls and 1 strike. So Pence, who went all the way down the line, comes back, picks up his lumber, and gets back in against a very tough righty. On the ground, the base hit. They're going to wave in Sandoval. Here's the throw home. It is in plenty of time, and Sandoval is out at home. So Cody Ross with a perfect throw, and now we will head to the 11th. It remains 4-4. And the new pitcher will be Santiago Casilla.
2-1 on the year with a 1.8 ERA. He's been pitching beautiful baseball. 10 base runners in 10 innings. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. That's right, a changeup is a new addition to his repertoire this year. 2 types of fastballs and lots of confidence. And let's take a look at the play that ended it for the Giants in the 10th. Punched it through the hole, and watch the strike coming up from Cody Ross. A one-hop pearl, and Pablo Sandoval had nowhere to go. Tim Flannery taking a bit of a gamble, but a perfect throw from Cody Ross. And the inning was over.
All right, so here's A.J. Pollock facing Santiago Casilla. Up and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Gregorius on deck. And a strike. And then the pitcher Ziegler. The Warriors win tonight.
Even up that series. Nice going, Warriors.
The game just ended. So here it's 1-1 to Pollock. Crawford gets one that was scorched pretty well, and he throws him out.
There's a Warriors fan.
Here's Gregorius. Popped out in his last at bat. He's 0 for 4.
Matt Reynolds, one of 2 lefties that the Diamondbacks have in their bullpen, going to go back out. He's already gotten up. Good 2-seam front door sinker. Reynolds starting to get loose, and with Brandon Belt can lead things off for the Giants. In the bottom half of the inning, we will probably see him.
And that pitch is high to Gregorius. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1. I'm going to walk this guy. He's got good speed.
You don't want to walk anybody, but especially a base stealer, because a walk can become a double.
Three and 2.
And there's your challenge. Dog's still here.
Alfredo Marte is on deck. Hit out into left center field. Torres is not going to get there. And Torres held on to the ball. And going into second is Gregorius.
That's a mistake.
That is a mistake.
And you got to know that Gregorius can run. And I'm really not sure as to why there was a delay in him getting that ball back into the infield. And he just stops at the play. So an easy take of second base, and just like that, speeds at second and in scoring position.
So here's Alfredo Marte. And a strike to Marte. Marte is 5 for 28, hitting 179. Scudero doing everything he can to make sure that Gregorius doesn't have any thoughts. And tight, 1 ball and 1 strike. Parra to follow. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
With a cutter. Well, you know what he's thinking. He's thinking strike him out. And that was either a pretty good cutter or a Great hanging slider.
She is still keeping an eye on Gregorius. Suppose he knocks it down 2-2. Good speed at second.
See how the Giants have played it. They're bunching the gaps. They're giving the lines to Marte.
And he stays alive by dribbling this one foul.
This two-seam fastball that had a little movement running in on his hands there. The Giants across the board in the outfield are pretty much average arms, but a little better than average in right field with Pence.
Two and two. They ask for time. Hit on the ground to Sandoval from deep third. Sandoval in the dirt. Belt dropped it. And everybody's safe.
Well, that's the third error tonight. I'm not really sure who they're going to give the air to.
All right, thanks, Greg. And now the Giants in a spot here. It's a 4-4 ball game. Dave Righetti is going to go out. A throw to Belt that Belt probably should have caught. And the problem now is you put runners at first and third with one out. So a couple of mistakes this inning for the Giants. One a mental mistake, the other a physical mistake.
Now, if you're going to miss down low. And that's exactly what happens. It winds up being a one-hopper. And Brandon Belt gets hit low in the glove, and that really is a surprise. With as good a glove as he has, and that really was not that difficult of a play. And when that ball dropped straight down, this Bochy could not believe it. So now, Righetti out, talking the situation over as to how they're going to play this. Probably keep the middle infielders back at double play depth. Casilla has the ability to get a ground ball. He's got a good two-seam fastball. Problem is, Parra has excellent speed. And if it's a ball hit to the middle of the infield between Scudero and Crawford, they're going to have to make a call as to whether or not they can turn it. And now the way they're setting up, I just think they're going to give that up and just concentrate on the runner at third. They're going to forget the double play.
So here's Parra, who has 1-for-2 history against Casilla. And the first pitch is low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Walk here is not the end of the world.
Well, the error is going to go to Belt. 1 ball and no strikes. Right now, Casilla in a battle with Parra. Cassilla's ready. And that goes to the backstop. And it gets away from Posey, and coming in to score is Gregorius. And now the Diamondbacks take the lead.
We saw this a couple pitches earlier where Posey tried to shortstop the ball on a one-hop, and here he tries to do it again, and the fastball stays down. He was not in good blocking position. Watch the backhand. I mean, he tried to play that like he was playing in an infield position and not catching. And the ball has to be blocked with a runner at third. Now, I know it's 93, and I know it's a fastball that stayed down, but still, he's got to get down there in better blocking position. You can't backhand that like an infielder.
This is hit into left center field. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to knock in Marte. Parra's got his first hit of the night, and it's a double to knock in a run. So the error costly as Parra comes through. It's 6-4. And the hitter will be Prado. And now the runner goes, and Posey's throw to third is in time, and they get Parra.
Parra trying to take advantage of it. Had a pretty good jump, but Posey just throws a pearl and an easy tag there. So takes a risk with one out. And the Giants stop it.
So it's 0-1 to Prado. One ball and one strike. 2 runs in for the D-backs here in the 11th. Hit foul down the right field line and out of play. It's 2-2. And that breaking ball is popped up. It'll be Crawford, and that'll end the inning. So Brennan Belt's going to lead things off. He tied this game up with a pinch hit home run. Belt to lead things off. Giants again trail by a pair. And the new pitcher is Matt Reynolds, a lefty. He comes in to try to close this game out for Arizona.
Matt Reynolds, you might remember, last year was in a Colorado Rockies uniform. His third year at the big league level. 26-year-old, 6'5", 240-pounder is off to a great start. You saw the numbers. In 8 games, 9 and a third innings, just 3 hits, 1 walk, so 4 base runners allowed. He's got a low 90s fastball, hard slider, and a changeup. A little funkiness to his delivery.
And he's facing Brandon Belt, who homered in the 9th to tie this game up. Belt fouls this one out of play. He's now behind 0-2.
Yeah, waited a long time in the stands. Finally got the reward foul ball. Worth the wait.
Fans are going to see if they can come back one more time here in tonight's game. And Bell will lead it off with a base hit. All right, Amy G is still here. She's hanging in there. Amy?
I am here, and hey, it worked well yesterday, so why not do it again today? Brandon Belt and the skipper, Bruce Bochy, in the KGC Bam Bam there as well. Everyone kind of working with him on getting his timing back. Bochy said that they needed to get his sync together and that they needed to give him less movement forward. He said when you're trying to get hits, you try to go out and get them. You're pressing. They needed to take the tension out of the swing and quiet down his body. Dwayne?
Yep. And he's doing okay since then.
Well, he hasn't made it out since then. Quiet down the body, keep the head still, get a better look at the ball.
Andres Torres, 1 for 4 tonight. And he cannot hold up. It's 1-2. Slowly hit. And the double play is Belt got tagged out as he ran by. And just like that, 2 down here in the 11th.
It's that base running mistake. I mean, you cannot run into it. Outs are precious here. You got to realize that the timing of the play is such that if you run into that second baseman, it's going to enable him an opportunity to get that throw off and get the back in. As the lead runner, you got to stop. That's a mistake.
So here's Crawford. Crawford takes a strike. He had a big triple in the 8th inning. Knocked in the first Giants run. Fouls it back. It's now 0-2. Hit on the ground to Prado, and this should do it. Prado's throw to first, and that's the ball game. And the Giants have a nice comeback in the end due to some poor defense in the 11th inning. They lose this one, Mike, and this will not be a moral victory for them.
Well, in a small way it is, because they did come back down 4 in the 8th against a very good bullpen, but you're right. They don't often beat themselves with poor defense, and tonight that was the case, and it's going to haunt them.
So the final score here at AT&T Park, it goes to the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks 6 and the Giants 4. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live with interviews in the wrap. That is all going to start right now.